Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm looking at the weirdest DC conspiracy theories. Let's get into it. Welcome back. Today looking at the weirdest DC conspiracy theory. But don't get to subscribe and go catch my other so um this is kind of a video I wanted to do about some weird conspiracy theories by Snyder fans. And so yeah, I think there's 11 to go through. And so let's get into it. And so the first one was Dwayne Johnson was the key to restoring the Snyderverse. Now Dwayne Johnson, when he was cast as Black Adam, people thought, oh, he could restore the Snyderverse. And I think there was a picture where he was hugging Toby Emmerich, and the Snyder fans were saying that, saying it was the key. He brought Henry Cavill back, which, but Henry Cavill didn't have a contract, so they put him in Black Adam. He didn't have a contract, so then James Gunn and Peter Safran were announced, and then he basically said Henry Cavill won't be Superman, which there was time to look at The Rock, and I think David Zaslav, and people keep pushing on James Gunn. I'm like, it wasn't in his vision, so yeah, it wasn't. And The Rock was not the key to restoring the Snyderverse. Dude, if Rock was running DC, it would have been Black Adam versus Superman, Black Adam versus Justice Suicide Squad. He didn't want to fight Shazam, which is Shazam's villain. And so yeah. Number two, Toby Emmerich and Walter Hamada are still in charge. And we know Toby Emmerich, he was in charge of Warner Brothers Think Pictures Group, and Walter Hamada was the president of DC. Both of them are left. And the Toby Emmerich got a deal. Walter Hamada is currently at Paramount. So there's this conspiracy theory saying that Toby Emmerich and Walter Hamada are still in charge of DC and they're still controlling stuff behind the scenes. We can't see them. Which last time we checked, there's a DC Studios and James Gunn, Peter Safran are running it, so they only answer to one person, and that's David Zaslav. So I think it's probably the weirdest outish one. And so yeah, number three, this is probably the weirdest one. David Corenswet, who is going to play Superman in the upcoming Superman movie in July, was cast as Superman in 2019. Because they think that he was actually cast much later, which was Toby Emmerich, Walter Hamada, and and um, and this was their goal was to do like a goofy Superman, and they're going to replace Henry Cavill, which is not even true because him and Richard Brosnan were both cast in I think June 2023, and this old DC was to ruin the downfall of DC was 2019, so they secretly cast David Corenswet in 2019, and they said that there was no interview, and this is probably the weirdest one. So yeah. The next one, this is probably the weird. Jeff Johns showed Snyder's plans to Kevin Feige, which he used for Infinity War and Endgame. Which the fact that some people even believe that Jeff Johns, you don't know Jeff Johns, he's a comic book writer. I think he did the Flash TV show, and I think he did some TV. He did write the Green Lantern movie. He wasn't on board with what Snyder was doing at DC, and people said that he took Zack Snyder, his Justice 2 and 3 plans, showed them to Kevin Feige, which he incorporated Infinity War and Endgame, which makes no sense because Kevin Feige was planning to do Infinity War and Endgame, I think 2008, because Infinity Gauntlet. I think that was the end game. So before Snyder even was going to do it. So yeah. Next one, Warner Brothers paid critics to sabotage Batman vs Superman. Now, if you don't know, 2016 it was basically Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice and Captain America: Civil War. Now, obviously, Civil War was the better received movie, made $1 billion. BVS was panned by critics and audiences and made 873, which isn't bad, but Warner Brothers wanted to make $1 billion. And so Warner Brothers saying that the Snyder people say it's not Warner Brothers pay critics to sabotage Batman vs Superman. Which why would Warner Brothers sabotage their own movie? That makes no sense. And yeah, they think that they pay critics to sabotage to trash BVS. The next one, Zack Snyder ghost directed Wonder Woman. Now, this one is kind of the weird one. People will say that Snyder's influence over Wonder. I think basically his visuals. Let me show you this right here. Okay, Wonder Woman, directed by Patty Jenkins, screenplay by Alan Heinberg. Alan Heinberg came up with he wrote it. The story is by Zack Snyder, Alan Heinberg, Jason Fuchs. Now, story means that he came up with the idea, but he didn't write it. A lot of people say that he ghost directed it mainly because Wonder Woman 84 came out and Patty wrote that, and it was terrible. Which this had nothing to do with Zack Snyder. Which technically, I think James Wan brought him in for Aquaman, but that was from a James Wan's movie. So yeah, he came up with the story. He did not direct it, and people keep saying that they tried to take the first one away from Patty Jenkins and saying that Zack Snyder wrote it. The next one, James Gunn is blocking the Netflix deal. Now, for those people that sells the SJL to Netflix, sells Snyder, they think Netflix is they're gonna license, they're going to license out the characters at Netflix. Now, people think James Gunn is blocking the Netflix deal from happening because he doesn't want to compete DC universes, which makes no sense because they're using Batman, they're using Superman, they're using Wonder Woman. They are not going to make a Netflix deal. And listen, people bring up Lucifer and they bring up Sweet Tooth and then they bring up The Sandman, which those shows were made by Warner Bros. Television. They just licensed them out to Netflix. Okay. Now the next one, James Gunn is destroying DC on purpose so Zack Snyder can return. They think if this Superman movie fails, the DC was done, and then they'll bring Zack Snyder in to finish Justice 2 and 3, which is largely not going to happen. Because I don't think Zack wants to. And even if he wants to come back, it will be under Zack Snyder. It will be under James Gunn. And do you want to see a Henry Cavill Superman movie directed by James Gunn? Like, why does James Gunn have to work with stuff that he had nothing to do? And there was no point. The DC was a mess. There was no point in Henry trying to fix it. And yeah. Kevin Feige. Next one, Kevin Feige got James Gunn to direct the Suicide Squad to make a DC versus Marvel movie, which a Marvel versus DC movie is largely not going to happen because it's Warner Brothers in DC, and they think Kevin Feige got Zack to James Gunn after he got fired to do the Suicide Squad. So the whole goal is to make a Marvel versus DC movie. Here's another one. James Gunn refuses to release the Ayer cut because he's scared it will be superior to his Suicide Squad movie. I saw this and I laughed so hard, and I'm like, this makes no freaking sense. First of all, the Snyder cut was the reason why I think the Snyder cut is that we're not going to get a Justice movie anytime soon. I think the next time we get a Justice movie will probably be it will probably be James Gunn's one. So we're not going to get that. And Suicide Squad was a really terrible movie. The Ayer cut is not going to fix anything. I don't know why people keep thinking that it will change. And yeah, I didn't want Ayer cut. I think maybe down the line, maybe the 10th anniversary, which is this year. But I even doubt that because I don't think they even want to. Because I think we have James Gunn one, and I feel like that's already a good enough movie that I just feel like we don't need. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Look, if they put it out, if they put the Ayer cut out and they put Batgirl out, so the next one is James Gunn cancel Superman Lois because he doesn't want two competing Supermen. I've done a Superman Lois aired on CW for 4 seasons, and people think James Gunn cancelled it. For those who don't know, this was actually it was cancelled by the CW because basically CW got bought and they said they weren't going to make any more superhero shows. So that's why the Flash, DC Legends, Arrow, all of those shows went. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. CW cancelled it. They put it on James Gunn, which is weird because they were shitting on Superman Lois. They kept saying, "Oh, Henry Cavill was better," and then now they just use it as a scapegoat because they just want to put it on Gunn, even though they didn't even care about Superman Lois. Which I think it ended fine. I feel like the way Superman is, like, it's more of a run for 10 seasons, but it was telling a story about him becoming Superman. I feel like this Superman, he was already at the end of his career. I just feel like 4 seasons was fine. If I would have been fine, we got more, but honestly, I'm kind of fine. And this whole 2 competing Superman. Now, people bring up the Batman as I'm getting to Batman. Now, the Batman was Matt Reeves, and he won it outside of the DC, which obviously when James Gunn came on, he inherited it. So it made $700 million. So he wasn't going to say no to Matt Reeves, and Matt Reeves didn't want it in the DCU. So obviously that's why we get Brave and the Bold. And then we get our last one, which is James Gunn is forcing Matt Reeves to put the Batman in the DCU. Now, there's this thing about Snyder, people saying that, oh, James Gunn and Matt Reeves are butting heads. And even though that's not even true, they're working together. I think Matt Reeves is he's going to do Batman Part 2, and then he did. I think he Penguin, and he will be doing Clayface. So he's not forcing him to put in DC, which I don't think Robert Pattinson needs to put in DC. I just feel like he's too grounded, and I feel like he's too young because this Batman he's gonna have Damian Wayne. So I thought obviously it will be an older Batman. So that's pretty much it. Now he's not forcing Maris to put in the DC, and that's pretty much it. These are all the weirdest DC conspiracy theories. So yeah, guys, don't watch my video. I'll see you in my next video, and goodbye.